Okay, Pisces, so where are we? So I've literally just done your reading. That was remote viewing and channeling, where we channeled a deceased loved one leaving here and going up. Someone visiting a gravesite and a conquest. If you want all of your channeled messages, I'm now doing them sometimes separately. So that was the video that came out just before this one. And you got loads of channeled messages coming up, not just about a deceased loved one, but there was a load of remote viewing, channeling, and loads of messages coming up of things to be aware of. So if you want to watch it, it's just before this one, okay? So this reading is going to be of things to be aware of in your environment, okay? What to be aware... Excuse me. You're right, Pisces, my little fishies. How are you? Hopefully there's not catfishing, because I'm still picking it up again. Jen, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Jack. Okay, so I'm not going to go into it because I've done all of those messages. Okay, it's about the unseen eye and being watched and being spooked out and freaked out that someone could be not showing or revealing their face. Anyway, so anything for Pisces to be aware of in their environment, please. Anything for Pisces to be aware of in their environment this week, please. This week for Pisces, what should they be aware of in their environment? So we have got forgotten memories, getting pulled out, Oh, I thought it'd be called out. Forgotten memories. So memories at the corner of my mind. So I'm thinking about family, I'm thinking about friends, okay, and I'm just going over nostalgic memories and stuff and kind of constantly going over memories. Memory is karmic energy. If you've got bad memories, or even, well, if you've got memories of the past, you will constantly live out of it, okay? I'll just put it that way, okay? But it says getting pulled out. So basically, it's like someone's going through the archives of their mind, memorizing and going over stuff. I hope that it isn't the past, because if you're constantly thinking of the past, you cannot manifest, okay? It'd be very difficult to do it. Okay, so it says forgotten memories. Okay, so I'm trying to forget the past, basically, and I'm trying to move on. Now, this can be you, your partner, or anybody around you, but somebody here is trying to forget the past and move on with their life. Here, okay, so the memories are of past, and that's in the past. Let's see. We will clarify these as well, though, Piscean. Stand by for action. Jackson, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Jack. Let's see. Pisces, what should Pisces be aware of in their environment? So you got not really into her. She's in love with me. Not really into her. She's in love with me. So you've kind of got this geezer or this bloke here that might be looking away from someone at another person and thinking about someone whilst they're actually with a person here. So you could be in some sort of third-party situation. But it's kind of like, why are you not paying any attention to me? And where is your mind going? Like, why are you... Because you got something to do around nostalgic memories here. Because the first one is forgotten memories. And this is kind of like, have you forgot me already? Like, have you forgot about me already? Like, are you watching me? Are you looking at me? Or who are you looking at when you're with me? Why are you not present at the time? Who are you thinking about? Are you thinking about someone else? Or is it them? Okay, but it's not really into her. She's in love with me. So there might be some situation that you could be into here where someone finds out about someone's love life and it says, look, I'm not really into that person. They're just a friend, or they're just an acquaintance or something like that. I'm into you. I'm not into her. I'm actually into you. Okay, so it's a bit like this: to me, to you, to me, to you. Is it me? Is it her? Okay, so it could be where this, like, I'm not really into her. She's into me. So it might be where someone has two people, okay, and it says, look, I'm not really into him or her. It doesn't matter which way around it is. But say, for instance, I'm not really into him. She's into me, or whichever way around, right? But it does say that, not really into her. She's in love with me. I'm not her. Okay, so there's kind of like this someone that might be... in love with someone that's already with a person here. Okay, so you got emergency services. I haven't seen this one before. South entrance hospital visits. So it might be where you're constantly going to and from hospital this week, and you've got to go. I have actually got to go twice. Not to the emergency services, but I do have to go to hospital about my blood and also about this food thing that I have. But you've kind of got these hospital visits that might be here quite a lot as well, or Charlotte, or someone works at a hospital and they're always at hospital. They work in a hospital, they're always at hospital. And the person that you could be going could be a Pisces going to the hospital, or you meet a Pisces there that's in hospital that works there, okay? So you've kind of got this energy of a person that you may or may not meet or have done in a hospital or a facility where they work for mental health or something else, and this is going on at work, okay? And I've got like this lustful energy that happens around work, okay? And it could be something to do around like mental health or something like that, okay? And I'm trying to tell my partner that I'm not into that person. I'm actually into you. I'm not into the other one, okay? There could be this affair that's going on in hospital. Like, you know, you visit hospital quite a lot and there's someone in there that you work with, okay? You work in, like, you've spent a lot of time going to and from hospitals quite a lot here. Or this person has. Can you hear the name Charlotte as well? Let's see. Pisces. Any messages for Pisces to be aware of this week, please? So, you have got Busted. This come up in one of the readings that I just did. I think it was for Capricorn, I think. Busted. So, it's something to do here around drinking or driving and emergency services of an accident. Now, this came up in Gemini, in Capricorn reading. Okay, in your reading, and also Capricorns, I think it was. There was something to do with around emergency hospitals, and then also an inquest that came up around an accident that could have happened in the past. And it's going to take people to go to the hospital in order to do the. So if you go back, Pisces, and watch the channeled messages of what I scribed and ended up drawing you a picture and channeling through it, go and watch that and it will relate to this, okay? Something to do around hospitals and inquest, death, and also drink, driving, car, accident, that sort of stuff, okay? So it's involving like A&E and emergencies and stuff like that, okay? Now, I don't know if that's past, present, or future. I can't always tell you that, okay? Because you've got like 911 emergencies, and it shows it in the card, and then it also says it here as well, like, okay, hospitals, accident, emergency, and then also it says 911 on there, okay? So, here, emergency services is 999, okay? But it could be a 2 Libra. It can also be involving a Virgo or a life path 9, about maybe having to go to hospital quite a lot because of something, or people that are working in an environment that is like mental health, hospitals, clients, people, so on and so forth, and you get people in that come in that have like had accident, emergencies, drinking, driving, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And these are clients and people that come into where you work, okay? People that have like busted can also be like child abuse and stuff, or like adolescent teenagers and things like that, and so on and so forth. And you work with children that are of like mental health, and they come in and they tell you about their life that's been going on, that's been full of crime, and their parents, and so on and so forth, and all of that kind of stuff, and parents are all involved and whatever it is, and we need help for my son or daughter, or I don't need help from my parents because they've gaslit me, making me believe that there is something wrong. And all of this sort of stuff really does seem to be here for a person that could be a life path 4 Scorpio or an Aries person as well, also here. There's these 2 separate stories, this forgotten memories and then not really into her, and then hospital visits and busted. So it's kind of like someone's life is taking shape and form of like a lot of hospital visits and stuff like that, and then also a lot of traumatic experiences of also like awakenings and third party situations of like lies and deceit. And I keep trying to focus and learn by me or other people, because I do teach you how to overcome your mind, and it's on the gold tier teaching that I did yesterday, that was how to work on yourself the correct way, is what I call it, okay? Because I don't want to go on about it here, but there's this, I'm trying to find focus, but there's this question that seems to be here, that someone might be constantly questioning a person to confuse them, okay? Like, who you're looking at, why you're looking at them, why you're not looking at me. Now, that could be like paranoia. It could be schizophrenia, paranoia. It can be that sort of stuff where someone believes that this is happening, but it actually isn't. And it's kind of coming across as like abuse, maybe like physical abuse. Why are you lying to me? Why do you always do this? You know, because it does say not really into her. She's in love with me. Okay, so it's a little bit like that. Okay, so it's kind of like this guy that's trying to tell this woman here to say, look, you know, I'm not in love with her. She's in love with me. But that must be the fact that someone is communicating probably with someone here. Let's see. Well, that's if the person is in love. You see, you wouldn't be saying that the person is in love with me if there was no signs of love. So you've got to have gone through this for a while, right? For this other person to give their undying love to a married person or a couple, and they've got right in between someone's relationship, and the guy is now having to protect his relationship to say, look, you know, I don't have a relationship with that woman. She's constantly told me the fact that she has a relationship with me. I didn't say that I had a relationship with her. I'm in a relationship with you. So this must have gone on for quite some time. That's why your weekly reading that was of messages of closure and the hidden truth and what's in the dark and the person's true intent and feelings, you had, where I called it, Pisces, blah, 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 closure comes in big time, which means that you possibly don't get closure. When I do a reading of closure, that means that I am giving you closure if you need it and you haven't got it. I'm giving you closure. Okay, that's why I do messages of closure, to help you move on. Okay, so you've kind of got this where it's like this, well, I'm not in love with her, she's in love with me, I can't help that. Okay, but like I said, it could still be the man or the woman that's saying it to someone. But let's see, because that would be someone that's been obsessed about someone else's marriage or commitment or relationship, and they've had a connection with a married man, like they've actually had this connection with this married man. Okay, and he's now having to explain to his wife that they may have contacted me, or they've been hinting the fact that they're in love with me and that they have this spiritual divine twin flame relationship with me, and I know fuck all about it. Now, like I said, the only way you would know something about it if this geezer or this person has literally been flirting and teasing and having sex with the person and communicating with them a hell of a lot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, because that would have to be the fact that, you know, this guy would know that someone's in love with them, because the person would have to have said, look, I'm in love with you. They would have to have said that, right? So you've kind of got that vibe there, right? So now you've got putting a bitch in her place. Ooh. You see, I'm telling you what, bitches. Some of you might have this guy that's going to stand up for himself, and you know what, bitches? All go and fuck yourself. Yeah. I have to stick up for the men as well, because I am a man. I ain't a perfect one, bruv. Trust me, I ain't. But, like, I have to also stick up for the men that are also on here that get turned over by women as well, okay? Because I do get a lot of clients and I do get a lot of stuff, okay? And I do look out on my peoples, okay? So, you might have this guy that's saying to this bitch here, fucking leave me alone, okay? I don't have a connection with you. Stop stalking me and stop fucking blah, 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 because I've told you I don't have a connection with you, and I've told you once, and if I have to put you in hospital, bruv, I will. Okay? But putting a bitch in her place and telling her exactly what someone thinks. Okay? Now, I'm not feminist or sexist. I'm just a messenger. I just have to tell you what it says on the card. It can still be vice versa. I really don't mind. Okay? But, like it says, putting a bitch in her place and telling her exactly, like I said, man, this could relate to a slugfest of two women. Now, it could be a same-sex one if you look at the card, but it can also be where this woman comes after this woman to bite her fucking ear off and say, listen, bitch, I told you to leave my man alone. That's my man. That isn't your man. I'm married. I'm in a commitment. And do not keep connecting with my person, telling them that you love them, because that's my person. So these two women here could get at it, yeah, because it might be, like I said, man, I don't know your life and I don't know your story. I don't know what this geezer here or this woman here has said in the past to a situation that may have created this. scenario for these two people to start going at it, where, because if you look at this card, this bottom here, this bottom one here is in lingerie and everything else, and it's kind of like this woman walks in on her kind of like, you know, what the fuck is your intentions and what are you doing here? Okay, or like, what are you doing like here with my person? What are you doing here? So like, you know, for ages, Libras and Pisces and God knows what else, there were loads of messages going through my last month one that where people were intrigued about someone else's marriage, through their marriage. Now, do not forget also, through year 6, this is very important to listen if you don't know, 2022 is year 6. That's the major arcana number of 6. That means the major arcana card of Capricorn and Piscean, which is the Capricorn and Gemini. That means the forbidden fruit. Okay, so it means Capricorn, the devil, and love and lust, and also Adam and Eve, right? So it means love and also lustful connections that may or may not have been built up or continue to be built up through 2023. Now we're coming up to year 7. Which is 2023. We're now in year 2022. 6 going over to 7. Okay. So if you've been through year 6, okay, all this year, been going through this connection that is of a married woman or a married man, and then you've got with a person and got back, an ex and partner, and then they got back, and my head is in your head, right? Then my energy is in your energy, and my dick is in you, and then them. Right, if it's kind of been that situation and God knows what else going on, then that's the year 6 showing you the year 6 lesson. Do y'all get how I read in numerology? If you don't, you really need my teachings here. But I read in code of numerology, and it also helps me channel and do deceased loved ones, right? So year 6 is a year 6 lesson for everybody. Okay, so major arcana, Capricorn and Gemini, they're both 6s. Doesn't have to be they have to be of that star sign. It's just that all through year 6, we could have all been experiencing these lustful, distrusting, lustful connections with married people or commitments. Okay. If through year 6, you have continued to do this, year 7 is going to be about you finding boundaries. Okay, finding boundaries, because we'll go into the Chariot, the Tower, the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, okay, investments into the same or something different, leaving or staying, doing the same thing and then learning boundaries, okay, and everything else, and then coming back and starting again. You would also get avoiding energies if nothing happened during the end of year 6. Avoiding, that would mean avoiding the Tower, avoiding family, avoiding outcomes, avoiding negative outcomes, avoiding this and avoiding that, leaving and coming back, moving away from people, because I have learned, planning on leaving. When we go to year 8, we go to the 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, the Star, and the 8 of Cups. That actually means physical leaving. So when it comes into year 7, we could still be going through a hell of a lot of boundaries that are going to be forced our way. Okay. So you've kind of got this very big kind of situation that's here. Okay, so let's see. So forgotten memories. What is forgotten memories here? Forgotten memories. So you got Capricorn, Taurus or Virgo. Forgotten memories and trying to forget about this masculine energy here. And it might be someone of a past ex-husband or a wife or a father, because you did have deceased loved one. Okay, and it did come up as father, and it did come up as reminiscing over the loss of dad, mum, father situation, going through old photographs and remembering the day of remembrance, a bit like Poppy Day, really, or the name Poppy, or my pops. Okay, Pop Jolly or Pops. Okay, which would mean father. But like going through nostalgic memories, thinking about this person here. Very successful man in his life, you know, so on and so forth. Provider, father figure, you know, that kind of thing. So, let's see. Not really into her. Not really into her. So, there you go. It means that this Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, or a Piscean, or a Life Path 4, Life Path 3, or Aries. So you've got this, I'm not really into her because I'm in love already. a 2. You've got this like Libra energy here. You've got like this connection that's being formed and built here, or it has. I just don't know if these are past, present, or future. The one thing I do know is by being a medium, okay, is the fact that through the predictions that I've ever made, I've always tried to stop them or tell people them, and you can't. You cannot stop death when it's on its way. You cannot. That's why I did the. Remember when I used to do the, what was it? The Book of Death. When I had all of those names that come up and the Akashic records that were of deceased loved ones' names that were coming up that were all going to pass. And they all did. They all did. Okay. So you've kind of got this energy here of unable to stop the future. Okay. Or do I put a stop to this or not? Okay. Hospital visit. Capricorn or Gemini. So that would be anything of mental health. Okay, that would also be of any blood work or mental health and so on and so forth. It would also be, like I said, needing to talk to maybe a therapist and stuff like that. Okay, I have ADD, so I don't talk to anybody. I just come to the fact I have ADD. It doesn't bother me. I think I'm special. I do. I love ADD. I think it's fucking brilliant. I do. Oh, God, yeah. I do. I'm just in a world of my own, man. I focus on me and, I just think it's special. I actually quite like ADD. Popular belief. You might as well like it. If you got it, Dave, you might as well like it. Because if you don't like it, what are you going to do about it? And the last thing I want to do is take a load of fucking toxic medicines to try and help something that ain't going to help. So there's no way I'm going to be poking loads of shit down my throat, bruv. I'm just going to deal with it, and I am. Okay, but there's this like hospital visits for things that may be in the blood system. Okay, it can also be things like cholesterol. Like I've got cholesterol stuff that I've got to go to the hospital for and have my hereditary cholesterol checked. Okay, and also food disorder. I've lost 3 stone. I probably can't really see it yet, but you can if you was to see me normally. But like this can also be an eating disorder. Okay, if you've got eating disorders, man, my best advice would be Six Sender. It really would, man. It works. I have never, ever, 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 Trevor, have I never, ever come up against something that physically works. Like, really works. Like, it really does, Dave. It really does work. And I tell everybody about it where I am. It's like, oh, my God, this way. I'm like, yeah, you want to try it? Six Sender. It's expensive. It's the devil. It's really expensive. But shit, does it work? Okay, so let's see. The devil. Me, I eat 1 meal a day. I'm not hungry. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't eaten a thing and I'm not hungry. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I haven't ate nothing. Last meal I had was at 6:30 last night. 1 meal at 6:30 at night. My first one and my last one until, again, today. It helps you fast. Like it's brilliant. Anyway, let's see. Busted. See, let down energy. There's this like disappointment. Oh, you're such a disappointment. Is that how your family make you feel, Pisces? But like, yeah, like it could be a child, and it could be where you're kind of like I said, man, you could have people that play the guilt trip on you. You end up going away feeling really guilty because you're like, oh, I can't believe I've just had to avoid this person again or treat them that way, and I can't believe the way I am and the way they are. And that I now feel guilty. 5s can also make you feel guilty. Okay. Because it's like, oh, you're going to leave me on my own and I don't want to be on my own and blah, blah, blah. Can't you just have like 2 minutes just to say something? You're like, no, I've got stuff to do. And you're kind of like, you go away and you drive out and you're kind of like, oh man, I can't stop thinking about this guilt now. I get it all the time, but don't faze anybody. Sometimes when we're forced in our environment to be a certain way and we're forced that way, when we are that way, someone else doesn't get it, we don't have time. Okay, and then sometimes when we don't, we can end up like saying something that we regret or just don't want to really speak or talk, and the other person feels like, oh, and you kind of like, well, it's unfair, Mrs. Patterson. And then you kind of like, you go, and then you end up thinking, oh God, now I feel really guilty. Why is this person making me feel so guilty? And you do. It's also like this guilty pleasure as well. This is also like a guilty pleasure. Okay. Let's see, putting a bitch in the place, but this is still going back to like someone has been keeping an eye on someone else's partner here, and been doing all of this, well, now you're busted, because now I know that you are here. So someone could have been like, I'm in love with your husband. And they told their husband that, and then the husband went and told the wife, and now the wife knows, and now she ain't happy. She ain't happy. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But what's this putting a bitch in her place? Because this person's going to pull someone's weave off. Or pull Steve off. What's that? But you got this... there's loads of people on here called Steve. But like 6 of Swords. Okay. So you've got this putting a bitch in her place. Might be around a Gemini or a Capricorn energy or a family member. Or a Libra too here. Okay. So I don't know. It really could where... I mean, like I said, man, it could be where someone had a connection from the past and they thought, well, I don't actually know if you're with someone or not, so I'll just contact them and say, hi, how you doing? Just wondered if you're in a relationship with a person. I really wouldn't have thought that that would send this person into a fucking spin, unless it was an ex, and then an ex contacts someone whilst this person's in a relationship, and the ex contacts someone, and the other woman's around, and they're kind of like, why are you talking to your ex? Like, why... have you just got a message from your ex? Like, why have you got that? And then they get questioned, and they're kind of like, well, I don't fucking know. She just appeared up out of nowhere asking me a question if I had a connection with her, and I told her that I don't. Here. Seems to be the story, Pisces. Like I said, if you guys have gone past my Patreon and missed it, where I told you, okay, this is the closure, and this is what you need, and you didn't watch that, and some of you just thought, oh, I didn't watch Steve's messages, and I just went right ahead, and I just went and messaged someone else, and I asked them, and then I get this, because I missed Steve's reading. You missed the closure, and you missed the bits what not to do in the outcome if you did. And if you did, this is pretty much what you got or what you get here. So, you know, just be aware that when I'm doing my readings, Patreon is a very big part of information that you really do need, because that's where I keep some of the juicy stuff. Lucy, Laura. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, be aware. Hot new affair. Oh, you could have that coming up. You see, you could be having a hot new affair. Okay, or an old one. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. That's what I've got for you guys. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you watch the other reading that was on YouTube, and then obviously this one. Like, share, and comment. I really appreciate it. And if you want to support me as a channel, that's what really supports me if you join my Patreon. On the Patreon is where you get your reading. It was done yesterday. Okay, we go through in the shadows what to be aware of, the outcomes, what happens if you was to do something, what would happen if you wasn't, and if it comes down to the messages that are saying, should I reach out? Do you still feel my presence? Should I do all of this? Then I ask, should you? Should they? Who should? Who shouldn't? What happens if they do? What's the outcome? And then we look at messages of closure, and your messages of closure really related to in the shadows of what you should and what you shouldn't be doing. Okay, and if you did, what the outcome is going to be if you do. So those are what you get over on the weekly readings, and it really supports me as a channel. So if you consider joining, all links are provided below. If you want it's only going to be silver or gold. Okay, if you have the gold one instead of the silver one, the gold one has all of the teaching segments, and on the last one was to do with how to work on yourself correctly. How would you work on yourself? Okay, so that's all of my knowledge and all of my information. That's just one video. There's loads over there to contend with. Okay, all right, guys, thanks very much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.